Show was fucking awful. What more you want me to say? You know, here's the thing. A lot of times people don't even realize that I am going easy on TNA. Most of the time I say nice things. Even if a match was okay, I'll say that I liked it, even though I really didn't that much, because I don't want the whole review to be a bash fest. Sometimes I go a little bit easy on it, you know, and that just stops here. Because I am sick and tired of everybody saying I'm going too hard on TNA. I'm a WWE fanboy. When the truth of the matter is, this company is fucking garbage. And deep down inside, everybody knows that. But they hate WWE so much, they don't like the PG product, so they want an alternative. And they'll go ahead and just take the easy way out and say TNA is good because that's the only other wrestling promotion on TV. Why force yourself? Why can't you just say that both are garbage? But you have to do this weird thing where you say that it's good. I'll never understand TNA fans. I never will. So this show starts off with the main event Mafia. Kurt Angle and Sting. They say that they have a new member to the group. Who gives a shit? This is the reason why I stopped watching TNA in 2008. Because all this did was just eat up fucking TV time. Sting, a man who has been wrestling since the 80s, has to come out here and eat up all the TV time, basically. The whole show is built around main event Mafia, pretty much. Once again here, who's the new member? Nothing was accomplished. They come out there and talk bullshit. I guess the only positive thing I could say about this is that it was over quickly, and that's about it. Then you got Bully Ray backstage. Him and Ace and Nate's pin Chris Sabin against the wall, and they say don't cash in the title for the world title shot. I guess this was okay. You don't have Chris Sabin saying anything, but I guess he couldn't because he'd get his ass kicked realistically. But yeah, I can't say anything bad about it. It set up something that was never going to happen, though, and I'll explain in a minute. In the next match, Suicide defeats Chris Sabin and Kenny King. Now, you see the problem with this here? They just had a whole segment where they threatened Chris Sabin, and now Chris Sabin lost the title. Now, I guess this could lend to the unpredictability, but it's just a fucking waste. And they put the title on Chris Sabin just for him to lose it. So, he's a transitional champion. But then couldn't they just keep the title on King if that was the case? He just fucking won the title 2 weeks ago, and now he loses it? What the fuck is the point of that? And then we find out after the match. And by the way, this match was fucking garbage. I love that, like, when everything is going boring in the next division match, they like to resort to the Tower of Doom move, which is the superplex powerbomb combo in the corner. That doesn't save the match. I'm sorry. We've seen that way too many times. It's not amazing anymore. And you notice that usually, even if an episode of Impact is horrible, I'll usually say that the X Division match that they have once a month is probably the best part of the show. I can't do that anymore. And you want to know why? Because this was garbage. It was in slow motion. The time it took once they did a move to reset and do another one, I don't know what the fucking problem was here. But it didn't work. Then after the match, Hulk Hogan comes out with T.J. Perkins, the real Suicide. And we all know that that isn't the real Suicide. Well, he might be the Suicide now. But back when the video game was out, that wasn't the real Suicide. Because, you see, to people who are new to TNA or whatever, Suicide, this character was invented for a failed game that came out 2009, I believe. It was TNA Impact, a disaster of a fucking game. It failed, and even after the game was out, had been failed and discontinued in midway games, who made the game went out of business, they still continued to have the character on TV. Very cheap. Very fucking cheap. And anyway, they want to know Hulk Hogan wants to know who he is, or he's going to strip him of the title. Then up next, you've got the Big O. Now, the Big O is a guy who appeared on Zack Ryder's internet show on YouTube. I heard news of this, you know, from No DQ, that he had signed with TNA. And he wrestles a guy that I don't remember his name, but Taz made me laugh hysterically, which is something that I don't usually do from the commentary on Impact. But he calls the guy Van Hammer, and that's all I'm going to call him in this review. Because as soon as I saw the fucking guitar, that is exactly what I thought of, was Van Hammer. You know, a wrestler that's supposed to look like he's from Van Halen, you know. This is just ridiculous. So he comes out, and he's really playing the guitar, and he plays the Star Spangled Banner, and he plays it with his tongue a little bit like Jimi Hendrix, and there's a lot of Jimi Hendrix comparisons here. And the crowd boos. You know, even though he played it pretty well, this is not a fucking rock concert. This is fucking professional wrestling promotion. These lame gimmicks should remain in the early 90s. WWE also had a character like this, but he wasn't really playing. I forget what the fuck his name was, but whatever. Too many characters playing the guitar in the past, and it didn't work. So the Big O defeats Van Hammer, and here's the thing. The Van Hammer knockoff, his timing was so horrible in this match. There was one point where he hit this kick, this heel kick, and it was so way off. I don't even know, like 25% of the kick actually hit. Just a disaster. If they're going to push somebody through, if they have to, at least go with Big O, because at least the guy has had some exposure on the internet. Fans of Zack Ryder will probably enjoy the fact that Big O is in TNA. So if they have to hire one of these Mamalukes, I say go for Big O. Then you've got Bully Ray talking to TJ Perkins in the back. You probably already forgot who that is. That's the guy who usually plays Suicide. And I thought it was actually an Ace and Eights member who stole the title. Turns out it's not, because Bully Ray asked him, you know, who sent you? Who put you up to this, to fake the injury and all that? And, yeah, so I don't know. So that would have been clever for Ace and Eights to do that, to steal the title. You know, to stop Chris Sabin from cashing. I mean, that would have made sense. That would have been way more consistent than what they were going to do later on in the show. Then it's Mickie James defeating Velvet Sky, and what a fucking boring match. Holy fucking shit. This match just proves to me something. The Knockouts division is not better than the Divas division. Lately, the Divas division has been more exciting with the AJ and Caitlyn feud. And I know a lot of people are going to go, WWE, Mark. Well, go ahead and say it. Because actually, that shit's been 10 times more entertaining than Mickie James and Velvet Sky constantly wrestling. And every single match has been piss poor, horrible, and this was no fucking different. After the match, Velvet Sky is crying. People are chanting that she sucks. And there's boos for a baby face. She's, you know, she's crying, and no one is buying this shit with this horrible fucking acting. Nothing is connecting with the audience at all. Even though they brought the show on the road, these crowds are dead. They don't like what they're seeing. Compare PG WWE, which a lot of fans, you know, protest, but there's a better reaction to the shit than what's going on from Impact, and that those are the real wrestling fans. And you can't use the excuse anymore that this is just a theme park audience, because no, now it is a professional wrestling audience, and you can't use that excuse anymore. Then it's Magnus defeating Bobby Roode, and I have to ask why. Just last year, I got into Bobby Roode. I dissed him when he was champion, but he really proved himself. He is a good wrestler, a good worker. And the thing is, why would you have him job out to Magnus? Magnus is sort of like Randy Orton. You got fans in the company, including Hulk Hogan, that claim that this guy is great, but he's not. They claim that he is, but he's not. He's a fucking fail. All he does is clotheslines, pretty much. He pins him with a Michinoku driver, and it's over. That's it. That's it, pretty much. Pathetic. Not only a pathetic match, but a pathetic result. Why would they have a guy like Magnus, who obviously isn't that great? It shows every single night that he's out there. The guy really isn't capable of much. So bland, has a bland face, has a bland look. Again, I laugh when Taz commented on the 2 M's on his pants looking like Super Mario, and that's exactly how he is. But that right there is an insult to Super Mario, because at least Super Mario is a good series of games. Shouldn't be compared to a shitty fucking wrestler. But it really just shows that he's like a joke. A plain looking guy with Super Mario logos on him wrestling shitty fucking matches. What kind of a show? What the fuck am I watching? Why am I watching a show full of horrible matches and shitty fucking wrestlers? Shitty fucking promos. Factions coming back that weren't even popular to begin with, and made me stop watching in the first place. Explain that to me. Then it's this lame ass fucking tag team segment. James Storm and Gunner are out there. They're talking about them going out and drinking. I'm really disconnecting with James Storm. I really liked him at first now, but now he's fucking just losing me. He's just in a tag team for no fucking reason at all. I don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. He's not in the Bound for Glory series, which means that he's not going to be in the main event scene for a long time. He's not going to be wrestling for the world title. The guy's going backwards. He started off in the tag team, and now they're putting him back in the tag team. And it's just... It's very fucking lame. It's sort of like what they did with Shawn Michaels and Triple H right before Shawn Michaels retired. They bring out DX, and all they're doing is wrestling tag team matches, and they're going back to what brought Shawn Michaels into the company as a tag team wrestler. And now he's just wrestling tag team matches for the hell of it. And I don't know why you would go backwards with a top performer like James Storm. The guy delivers in the ring. He's one of the few things that are good. A charismatic, tough wrestler. He looks tough. He's good in the ring. He's given us quite a few good matches. The tag team phase for him is over. You know, he's won the world title already. So why is he winning tag team belts? Then you got Jesse Goddard and fucking Robbie E coming out, and they're challenging them basically, and they come up with a new name. It's Bromance, and then they get made fun of, and then they change the name to Bromans, and I'm like, yeah, what am I watching? Seriously, before they went out there, did they envision this, like how this was going to look? Because it was so fucking dumb. I'm sorry, but this was beyond fucking horrendous. I was sitting there basically in my chair What a face palm. Why is my hand in my face when I'm supposed to be watching the fucking screen? I'll tell you why. Because I can't stand to look. It went beyond or below, depending on how you look at it, the car crash mentality where it's so horrible I can't look away. No, I had to look away. I was embarrassed for them. Embarrassed for everybody in the ring, and embarrassed for this company. Embarrassed for Spike TV. Embarrassed for all the TNA fans who actually say this is good. Because I'm looking at this, and this is the big tag team division. You know, well, WWE doesn't have a tag team division. I don't care. If this is what tag team wrestling is, I don't want any part of it. This was horrendous. It was so bad and horribly done and boring. And the humor was cheap. It wasn't funny. And I'm just going to get away from this. I'm going to just slowly back out of the room. Sort of like when Peter Griffin was hugged by Chris. And he said, I love you, Dad. He just backed out of the room and ran. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. Then it's Samoa Joe defeating Mr. Anderson. And again, another boring match. Another, just so boring. The interference. And once again, everybody looks like they're moving in slow motion. No motivation. Nothing. No effort put into the match at all. Bound for Glory series once again. And then then Kurt Angle and Sting, who were helping him out with the Aces and Eights, they give him a suit. He's pretty much joined now into the main event Mafia. He joins. Then Kurt Angle says, "You're going to like the way you look." And then Sting goes, "I guarantee it." Are they even trying? Men's Warehouse references? Could there be any more generic of a joke and reference that you could go for? They turn their creativity towards a fucking suit store commercial. Oh my God, I hate this company. I'm just going to say it right now. This company is fucking garbage. It sucks. It sucks bad. It really does. I don't know how you guys watch this. And I know I'm watching it, but how do you guys like this? Then at the end, who is Suicide? Hulk Hogan comes out, and then Bully Ray comes out, and then you've got Suicide coming out, takes the mic, and, you know, he's cutting a little promo. It's like a weird fucking promo. He's trying to sound all mystical and like a prophet. And then he tears off the mask, and it's Austin Aries. Now, I like Austin Aries. I have stated that. I have been a fan of him since Ring of Honor. And I've supported this guy. I wanted him to do well in this company. They give him the title once, and they shit all over his title reign. And now, he's back again, and he's going to be wrestling the same match that he did last year at Destination X. And this is just going to be a pay-per-view that they're just going to put on Spike TV, which, by the way, they're not even promoting this. The show is like in 3 fucking weeks, and they're barely even promoting this pay-per-view, which is going to be free, by the way. It is airing on Spike TV. And I don't get it. You know, they could have built up Chris Sabin. I mean, it would have felt cheap either way. Chris Sabin just comes back, and they weren't even doing anything with him. You know, they tried to build up the whole, the whole injury, the whole knee injury thing, and then it's just for nothing. They threatened him at one point of the show, and now he loses the title, and now it's Austin Aries? Like, what is the direction of this company? What the fuck are they doing? You know, Austin Aries was in a tag team for like 6 months, and now, boom, he's back out there. And I don't get it. I just don't understand this. What the fuck is going on here? It's like fucking retards wrote this fucking show. There's no continuity. They build up for something and then it leads to something else, and you know, you might say, well, that's more unpredictable than WWE, but you just can't be so random like that. You can't just build up one guy, he's coming back from an injury, he might cash in the title, and then just throw it on somebody else who already did the same exact thing last year. You know, I don't know how much longer I could possibly watch this promotion. You know, it's bad enough that I watch WWE, SmackDown, and Raw, and a lot of the time it sucks, but I'm subjecting myself to Impact, which is 10 times worse. I'd rather watch whatever it is, the worst episode of Raw of all time, like 10 times in a row than watch this show. This was by far one of the worst fucking pieces of shit I've ever seen, ever, watching wrestling. And I have been watching this shit for so fucking long. 25 years old, and I gotta say, this was probably one of the worst fucking wrestling shows I've ever seen. This episode was just that fucking bad. And I know, like, you might say that that's hyperbole, that I'm just saying this is the worst ever, and I might be saying, you know, I try to stay away from that because, you know, if I did that, I'd be saying that Raw is the worst show ever, every single fucking week, because most of the time it sucks. But this definitely had to be. I mean, there was no good matches, no good promos, and everything pissed me off, and the lack of continuity just was fucking making my brain fucking hurt. And in this heat, that's not good. And, yeah, that's it. This show fucking sucked. That's it.